This one's for the obsessed. A training machine built for cyclists by cyclists. The goal: blur the line between virtual and reality. And this is the result. Kicker Bike. A complete training system designed to recreate what you experience on your outdoor bike. You're fit. You're kit. You're set. Your rides. All built on everything we've learned since we launched our first revolutionary creation.
That's Clay's actually pushing it, but look, Pokemotion riders coming through now. This is going to be nip and tuck on the line. Now to Clay's putting on the pressure. I think he's going to do it. It's 2.2 kilometres to go. The game of chess is starting. Is it cat and mouse? There's a little bit of a trail off the back now. He could be losing a few riders as Leonard puts the pressure on. He's riding at 39 kilometres an hour on plus 1% grade. Hi, welcome along as we weigh in with another West London VR race. Wednesday evenings, the web race, 2W's Wahoo as well. The new owners of RGT, and we're looking forward to a great relationship with them going forward. So what we've got in store tonight, it's a relatively flat course, and in fact it's a very flat course, and historically, when we've used this course on West London VR races, we found that there was a big group at the front and a mass sprint finish. But this season, Series 5, we're seeing very different tactics from the riders and particularly teams now, where they're attritionally going off the front early to try and drop people out of the pack and split the pack down to smaller groups. So we're getting smaller sprint finishes. Now, what have we got in terms of the This is the Ladies League. The best 6 races count, so this will sort of level itself out later. You can see on the right-hand column it tells you how many races they've run. Judith Newton of West London, just ahead of Wendy Wonderwheels Gallagher, running for Smile On, as is Cara Bono. Daniel Gaunt from West London, Lisa Snell from West London, Ellen from West London. Caroline Reuter only done one race like Ellen. Caroline riding for Smile On. So Laura Whittingham from Twickenham. So basically the top of the Ladies League is being battled out by West London and Smile On, and I think this is going to be absolutely fascinating along the way. Meanwhile, in the unisex race, which sort of becomes, I suppose, the men's race, Wouter Clays, the reigning champion, is just ahead of Miles Askew, who had that fantastic win in race 1. Look out for Thomas Williams, though. NZ Bro, they haven't got, they've only got one rider in the top 10, but if you look below, there's NZ Bro riders lurking below, and we're expecting big things for them. Surprising to see Ned Bowen down in 11th. Hopefully things will sort themselves out, but some great names up there: John Sammert, Tom Gates, Doug Hart, Dave Castro, Kader Aluni, Matthias Bergfist, some previous medal winners there, Jan Linden, of course, Ned Bowen, Michael Tong of NZ Bro, Mark Bro Bottom, etc. So plenty to play for, and the points gap isn't too big. Anyone in there could do this, and if anybody misses a race, it really does scupper their chances. So there's plenty to play for in this one. Onto the teams classifications. As we said, Smile On and West London battling out the Ladies League at the bottom there. Moon Riders and Pokemotion, who had that epic finish almost neck and neck in Series 4 at the top. But don't underestimate the teams behind them. There's some very strong teams there. Right now at the 7th, Glasgow United, but look at Southborough, only 1 point behind Glasgow, so they're well in it too. I think the top 8 are going to battle that one out. So it's South moving upwards. It's Southborough, Glasgow United, 2 NZ Bro, Parched Airs, and 2 Miki. Ratio Racing squeezed between those, and Tom Gates' great draft team up there in 3rd, and they're not very far behind. So this one is going to be fun too. So what's the course look like tonight? Well, as I said, it is a little bit on the flat side. It starts out there in Windsor, and it goes through basically Eton, as you can see Wick there, goes across Dorney Common, which is usually very exposed and windy, through Dorney, and go past the Olympic rowing venue there, and it ends up in Bray, which is why it's called the Web Race: Windsor, Eton, and then Bray. Bray, a picturesque little village with a few Michelin-starred restaurants, and you can see the rowing lake featuring right in the middle of that course, that big black line. So, what do we expect tonight? Well, being flat, as we've said, we are expecting some sort of sprint finish, but we don't think it will be quite as big as usual. 85 riders online, so expect a very, very fast start. We're 10 seconds away from the start. These are quite explosive, and you can get dropped very easily at the start if you don't get your pedalling quite right. 3 seconds to go. They should be absolutely hurtling there. And you can see on the left the watts per kilo being pushed out, and look how fast that is. You get left behind at your peril at this point. It will actually ease off a little bit, 100, 200 metres. Well, obviously for South Africa New Zealand team, Johan out there with Nick Greenhouse for Ratio Racing, taking that early lead. And this is all to stretch out and drop some riders at the beginning. And you get a real bonus if you can drop some of the some of the good ones. If they just get that bad start, they don't quite have the momentum and get off. Look at all those black shirts from the NZ Bro team up the front. They are going to be a big team for this series, as Vissel, South African, just being challenged there by Gergel, Norwegian, but riding for NZ Bro. It tells us by the flags, so I'm not sure whether he actually resides in NZ Bro. I do believe they all come from New Zealand, so I'm assuming he's of Norwegian origins and down there enjoying life in Kiwi country. So who have we got up there? Akulu for Pokemotion. As I say, they're right at the top. We see James Mailville with the Scottish Salter. Mike Addy just behind him in there. All names that you'll be familiar with if you've been following the series over time. So Aaron Blakely is up front now with Gergel, 2 NZ Bros. Oh, somebody's gone off the front. Yes, Johan Olofsky. Johan tends to ride the summer events with us, and he's been with us since very early days of these series, and we're now in our 3rd year. and he actually helped us devise the format for the team competition. So part and parcel of the furniture is Johan as he goes off, and he's got 23 meters lead. Now this is the sort of thing that happens. This is stretching the peloton. You can see it sort of begins to thin out and turn into a line as everybody chases him down, and somebody off the back will find the pace a little bit hot and never get back on. NZ Bro leading the charge to get everybody back, and it's one of the ECKD riders from Denmark, just being overtaken now by a Pokemotion and another NZ Bro rider, as we see Carl Dixon for South Africa and New Zealand. Johan is the I believe he's the orchestrator for the South Africa-New Zealand team. Basically, South Africans who happen to live in New Zealand, and it's called SANS. So if you see anybody with SANS, that's what it stands for, South Africa, New Zealand. Again, NZ Bro on the front there, leading this chase. It's Gurgel and Carl Dickerson, Alistair McAlpine for Scotland just behind. Tim Cummins, Westerly in 5th place, good placing. Leo, the Belgian, in 5th. This is quite a pace. It's 45 kph, and this is on a very, very slight gradient. And you see how few riders are left. I mean, that's still quite a big bunch, maybe 30, 35 riders in that bunch. I think Johan's been caught by the looks of things, and this Pokemotion rider, Akula, has taken his place on the front temporarily. Now, as I say, this is probably, I'm guessing, around 35 riders as we look. 3 purple Westerly jerseys in there, I see. I think only 2 of those are actually Westerly riders. No, Johan is out the front. Sorry, I assumed too soon, actually. He's been chased. Jan van Beurs, from the Netherlands, I see is in the mix there, coming up behind. And I think Tim Cummins doing quite well. He's still in 7th place there. And we've got Jan van Beurs in there. Tom Gates in 11th place, riding for Draft, of course. And gradually, there's Virgil is off the front now again, doing the chase in 2nd place, but it's still something like 25-30 metres between Johan and the rest of the pack. And I see Nick Greenhalgh is now leading the chase. Look at everybody just putting on the pressure. They're trying to make sure that Nick doesn't get away and form a group of 2 up the front. But Nick is making up ground. He's opening up a gap here. We see just behind him Webb Cummins, Kulu, Carl Dickerson, and NZ Bros, Tom Williams. Jan van Beurs in there, all in the mix, and Nick Greenhalgh has caught the 2nd place Virgil. So if these 2 could make their way up to Johan, now Johan has got about 22 metres on them, so it's not that big, and it looks like they're gaining. That is looking to me, maybe not, maybe Johan's just holding that, so maybe not going to make the bridge. If we look at the split screen now, we can see the bunch behind very much bunched up and working as a peloton with these 2 up front. Now the gap to Johan has gone out a little bit. It's over 30 metres now, so that's not going to suit the 2 chasers, and they may get swept up by the peloton here. We'll have to see. We're just looking, trying to guess how many people are in that peloton. I'm guessing sort of 30-35. Be interesting to have a look a little bit later. Now, what's the gap? Now they've brought that gap down again. It's back down to sort of 22 metres. But Johan's very, very strong front. Johan does like to do this. He's a very strong rider, make no mistake. And whether or not this is going to benefit him in terms of the win remains to be seen. But I can tell you now, somebody will be hurting on the back of that peloton that's chasing. And the 2, look at that. Look how it's been split. That is what happens. This, you can see the split, and somebody off the back will fail to be able to hold that as the chase goes down. And we're looking at the chase now. Olaf C's got about only 15 metres on the other 2, but Rasmus Feldball now, with Nick Greenhalgh, Razio Racing, is leading the chase there. These are the 2nd and 3rd and 4th riders, and they've got up to Johan. So now we have a pretty accomplished and elite group off the front. Gurgel from NZ Bro in 2nd, just behind Johan, who's done all that work on his own, and they still let him sit on the front. And you can see the split in the peloton behind. You can see Webb and a couple of others are just slipping off the back, and they probably are going to struggle to make up that gap anymore. Tim Cummins there at the front of the rest of the pack, and it's just going through. I can see a couple of Moon Riders riders on the left there. Rasmus Feldball. Now, Rasmus, he's one of the ECKD. ECKD is the E-Cycling Club Denmark, and Rasmus is a very, very strong rider, so watch out for him. Now, he's leading this group of 4. Nick Greenhalgh is a former champion of this. As I say, Johan Olofsson has been here since almost day one. New Zealand, or South African guy living in New Zealand, and won NZ Bro, and we're expecting big things from NZ Bro during this season. And look at Nick go. He's pulling it out again. Johan not giving up. Now, we're 5.7 kilometres into this 15.5 kilometre race. We've got just under 10 kilometres to go, and they are eking out a significant little gap. At the same time, I don't think they'll get away. But look at the damage they've done to the peloton behind. This is sort of much nearer the sort of 20 riders in the peloton group behind, and I think it's probably, if we look, 25 I think was the last number there. So whatever happens to this group on the front, whether or not they stay out there with this gap, which is about 70 metres now, and that is pretty significant. That is fast. They're riding at 44 45, even 47 now, 48 kph. So this is not slow, as I say, and this is on a very, very slight incline. Not much. It is a pretty flat course. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see how spread out it is now. The big white blob at the front is whoever the camera is on, which is our front 4 here, and you can see how strung out they've caused this. And this is this relentless pace off the front. Now these 4 have pulled out a significant gap. Although John Sammer is leading the chase back, John Sammer is going to haul them in. John Sammer is another one of the top riders. Alistair McAlpine's with him now as well. So this group of 4 is suddenly a group of 6, and there's other riders behind. So this could be an even bigger group, as we see Wouter Clay's reigning champion and leading the series at the moment join this group. So we now got what have we got? 8 riders off the front. Alistair McAlpine just at the back. Will he get on? Will it be a group of 7 or will it be a group of 8? And this is a big moment for Alistair. If he can get on that group, this is big things, because this group has the power now to pull away, and I think he's done it. Well done, Alistair. He's got on the group, and you can see that gap growing, can't you? There's something like 60 metres between this elite group of 8 and the rest of the peloton. Will this be decisive? We're nearly at the halfway stage of this race, and will this group create a significant gap? As we look at the aerial view on our right, the tree's just blocking what we can see, but you can see that the size of the peloton has got very, very small. We've got 8 out the front, and I think there are less than 20 people there. So maybe not. There's maybe sort of 25, 26, maybe 27, 28 riders left if you take the 2 groups. But will this group of 8 work together and eke out an even bigger gap? This is a significant gap. When we're talking about 70 metres, this is huge, and this is potentially decisive, and I say that because of who's in that group. James Melville leading the chase there in 8th place, so it means there's only 7 above him. Somebody seems to have disappeared, because I thought they were 8. Maybe it's my maths. And so who's that chasing? It's Ned Bowen now in the red, riding for Team Draft. But anyway, James Melville's Glasgow United, just trying to stay. Look at the work Ned's doing, trying to get back on track. He's doing this solo. He's putting out 585 watts here, and we can see a cadence of 81. Is Ned going to get back on? He's getting very, very close to the group up front. This is a big moment. He's going to do it. Ned is a powerful rider. That is immense to have pulled that back. I don't think the gap is quite as big as it was, but I do think that was an amazing bit of work now. Danielle Schock for Moon Riders, Andre Dubray just with him as well, and Tom Williams from NZ Pro making up that little group. Who else have we got in now? Is that a Team Draft rider? So this is holding together. I think they're holding the gap. They might even be reducing it a little bit to the 7 or 8 off the front. Justin Roy now, NZ Pro New Zealand rider, with Tom Gates in this second group. Tom Gates from Team Draft, of course. I'm assuming that's James Melville in the GCN kit riding for Glasgow United. You see an ECKD rider in the group here now, a couple of 3Rs, I think, and Pokemotion have got a rider in there, which I'm guessing, I'm trying to think which one that is actually. But certainly Pokemotion got 2 riders in there, 2 Moon riders. See OTR coming up here, a couple of the Westerly guys as well. I would imagine that's Andy Beale and Tim Cummings. There's somebody in no man's land. It's James Melville. He hasn't made the bridge. Rob Miller for 3R, just alongside New Zealand Justin Roy for NZ Pro. A couple of we'll have to see how this pans out. That gap is now quite significant, and it is over 100 metres. This has probably, with 5.9 kilometres to go, and the calibre of the riders in this front group, I think this is decisive. Now, we haven't seen this before in this type of race in a West London VR series. This is amazing, and this is, we saw recently, I think Pokemotion did some fantastic tactics. It didn't quite pay off, but it was Julian Fussell there in 27th with Jan van Berg. Julian riding for Southborough District Wheelers, of course. Johan now, right off the back after all that work. It can be cruel. Kevin Unsworth there with Johansson from Norway. Ned Bowen. What has happened to Ned Bowen? Something's gone horribly wrong there because he did that big chase, and I think it's absolutely winded him because he's dropped right back now. Jan van Berg's there. Webb and Leo now back to, they were in the front group earlier in the race, as you remember. Kreuger and Danny Stain for South Africa, New Zealand, way back. Especially Danny, I would expect to be for the Andre Kudryski back there. I mean, he's might wear him for Moon Riders as well. When the calibre of these riders are that far back, it tells you, Tom Alsop as well, it just tells you how much pressure there was on the front. Gautam Thacker and Pete Dickerson there for West London, and they're riding along with Laura Mount, the female rider. And what else we've got in here, this group? I'm just trying to see who the OTR riders are. Mike Addy from Milton Keynes, and we've got one of the Danish guys there, Helveg, making it up. We go back to another group here, Rafa Nunes, Mike Addy, and Dan Benito, 51st, just behind Rafa Nunes, the Ecuadorian riding for West London. Moving back a little bit, here we have Madonna and McDonald, sorry, Cash, Wirtz, Jeremy Ball, and who else we got in this group? Jeremy Ball, I think, and just trying to see, pick out some names from this group. Colin Stewart, Coco Maisie, is in this group, and Wendy Wonderwheels Gallagher is in there. It's Jeremy Ball from Westerly as well, let's see. And we're back into sort of 50s, 60s here with Wendy. Wendy actually will be the leading lady, I think, as Mel earlier on isn't entered in the series, and so I think Wendy Wonderwheels will be first lady today if she can stay in that group. And it's a decent group, and it's holding together quite nicely. There's a certain guy called Dave Morrison in that one as well, and he was very pleased to be there, I'm sure. So looking back, as we can see, back to the sort of late to the 60s and 70s group here, we've got a nice little tidy group, a couple of NZ Pro guys in there, I assume, in the black jerseys, so that's all good. And it's nice to incorporate everybody in this, isn't it? To see what's going on. On your left-hand screen, though, we've got the, and now on your full screen, we've got the elite group off the front, and it's 7 riders now, and they have got a gap of over 200 metres. This is ridiculous. I did think it would be decisive. I suggested it might be because of the calibre of riders on here. That's Malcolm Alpine just dangling off the back there a little bit. He's pushing out Jason Watts is just nudging himself in front of Rasmus Feldball. I'd be very delighted if I could ever nudge myself in front of Rasmus Feldball, riding for ECKD. John Samet for Pokemotion up there. This will be good for them. I don't think there's a Moon Riders rider in that. Danielle Gaunt, Bavash Mystery there, and Hollingworth, making up 72, 72nd and 73rd places, I should say. Mike Rowbottom in 74th. Something's gone wrong. Mark Rowbottom's a really good rider and he's 74th. That is wrong. That is wrong. Something's gone wrong for Mark here. Mark should not be back there. 77th, Jessica Wright, I see. Griselda Pulgarin with riding together, actually. They're both in the ladies. And Lisa Snell in there at 78th, as you see at the back. Still the little group on the front, but Rasmus Feldball at 2.4 is eking out a little gap at the front. Marcin shouldn't be 79th. So there's something wrong. And again, one of the lady riders there, Hardin. Rasmus has been pulled back, so he didn't quite get away. Moon Riders have got a rider in the front group. Sorry, I said that. So one Pokemotion and one Moon Riders. These are the guys at the top. We've got two NZ Bros. They're in fourth. We haven't got a draft rider, so we'd expect Tom Gates to be probably their lead rider, or Ned Bowen. So out of the top four teams, NZ Bro with two riders in here could score some very, very good team points. But the battle will probably be competitively on a team level between John Samet for Pokemotion and Wouter Clays for Moon Riders. Wouter Clay's leading the series as well, so he needs points here. Well, in fact, they all need points. 100 points for the winner, remember, in this, 99 for second, and down the listing. Aaron Blakely is one of the NZ Bro guys in this group, and we just saw his data coming out there. Rasmus has gone again with 1.5 kilometres to go, and that's quite a big gap. That is quite a big gap. They've got to chase him down. That's got to happen. That can't be right. He can't pull out a gap with 1.3. Surely they're going to chase him down. Rasmus is putting out 590 watts there, riding at 50 kph and getting out of the saddle and putting a bit more welly into it. That gap at 52 metres is... one of two things is going to happen here. Rasmus knows what he's doing, and we've seen him do this sort of thing before. As the six behind chase away. Two NZ Bro riders in there, as I say. We've got Pearl Gunnar and Aaron Bleakley alongside John Samet for Pokemotion, Wouter Clays for Moon Riders, and that gap is something like 90 metres. 90 metre gap with 600 to go is going to be hard to close, but it's one man on his own, and if he's at full whack now, he's probably going to exhaust himself versus these guys if they work together. But it's a case of whether or not they're going to work together. Alistair McAlpine making up the team there, along with Nick Greenhalgh from Racio Racing. So a lot of the top teams represented at the front. Draft to the one team that hasn't managed it, ECKD. They should be competing at the top, but the list of riders that enter every week is not always matched to their best team. 200 metres to go, and he's 160. He's going to win it. This is astounding. This is stunning. They haven't chased him down. He's held it. He might have lost a little bit of ground, but he can ease up and point to his sponsors here. ECKD, very, very good. That is stunning. Take a bow, Rasmus Feldball. Now we have the duking out for the next places. Who is he going to be? Wouter Clays is pushing out there. It's Wouter Clays, and I think Nick Greenhalgh pulled in next. Alistair just dropping off a little bit there, but he'll be delighted to be in that front group. Michael Tong for NZ Bro now sprinted along Justin Roy, his teammate. Now Justin Roy seems to be catching up a little bit, but I think the finishing line might come a little bit too. Oh, they're going to get swamped. Look at that, Casper Pedersen. Oh, and he's going to get picked on the line. That was amazing. That was absolutely brilliant. Well, look at that. We were concentrating on the three of them, and they got swamped, and there was a secondary battle just in front of that. Wow. And Julian Fussell coming in there for Southborough District Wheelers, who've been part of this series for quite a long time, and quite a little bit of a rapport growing between Southborough District Wheelers and West London clubs. Kevin Unsworth will be delighted with 30th position, I'm sure. He has got higher ones, but in this sort of race with what happened, that is a good finish. And look at that. He is going to finish in front of names like Johan Olofsson and Ned Bowen at 32nd. This is unheard of. I know Ned probably burnt himself out in that chase earlier on because he's a canny sprinter normally, and it's probably not his best use of energy. Ned Bowen now coming in. He's just ahead of Jan van Beers, Rassia Racing. I'm assuming Ned Bowen would win a sprint here because he's such a good sprinter, but if he's back there and absolutely tired out, then maybe not. And he's pulling away now, but Jan van Beers just sitting cleverly on his wheel. We'll have to see. Let's see what happens. No, Ned's going to take it. I think yes, Ned's kept it. Danny Stain coming in for Sands next. We have the top 20 places. Oh, look at that for a finish from Mike Addy for OTR. That was a bit of stunning finishing. As we see Gautam Thacker coming in for West London VR. He'll be quite pleased with that, I'm sure. Sorry, I thought somebody had stopped there, but that's at the finishing line. Mike Cash coming in with McDonald just pulling away. Look at that, just emphasising their intent. We will go down all the finishing places, but this is quite exciting watching finishes. We on your side panel there on the right, you can see David Oliver 21st, Peter Austin for OTR, just beating South African New Zealand's Carl Dickerson. Tim Cummins at 24th, will be pleased with that. Olaf Johansson 25th, Julian Fussell for Southborough District Wheelers, just flipping Jorgen van Beers and Jan Hendrik Wieser. Adam Chamberlain 29th, Kevin Unsworth. There's a nice little sprint going on here. We'll see what happens here. They've got 700 metres to go. We'll have to see what happens. Wendy Wonderwheel's in there, just at the bottom of your screen. Shooting well. If she can sit on these wheels and get into this sprint, that'll be good for her. We'll have to see how this one works its way out. And Wendy's pushing up now. Is the group splitting into two? No, it's coming together again. Tom Yates Jazz in there, I see as well. Jeremy Ball, and see how this is going to work out. Somebody's just gone off the front. It's Clark. And is this group going to split? They've got 370 metres to go. Somebody's off the back. It's Tom Yates Jazz slightly off the back. He's pushing to get back on the group, but I suspect that things are being ramped up. There was a non-finisher on the side there, broken down. Yeah, Tom's just drifted off the back there. He's probably not going to make up this ground. Wendy Wonderwheels, is she going to be able to stay on that group and be part of the sprint? No, I think the finishing line is going to become it's coming too quickly. So Wendy just getting pipped even by Tom Yates Jazz on the line. And we shall have a look at the finishing positions very, very shortly, as Colin Stewart, who was part of that group and has drifted a little bit off the back, comes in 62nd position. Scottish Saltire. Coco Maisie is his racing name. And all the finishers coming home. Bhavesh Mystery. I think Bhavesh had done a race the night before, possibly, and probably not having his best day out, but he's going to get 69th. And I think we're probably expecting about 80 finishers. So plenty of padding underneath that. As we look at the positions on the right, you can see Gordon Jackson of OTR just being pipped by Thomas Elveg. So I think we've got most of the riders in now. We're certainly down to 68th here with Bhavesh Mystery, who's just overtaken the stricken rider, whoever that was to the right. 51st, Mitchell Cash, Martin Verveke at 52nd. Mike Buckhurst from California, pipping Gregor Hebert to 53rd. Johan Eklund, pipping Jeremy Ball. Actually, the margin there only less than a second. John Clark, Leslie Betts, Dave Morrison and Tom Yates Jazz making up that group. You can see a little bit of a gap back to Tom, who, if you remember, just pipped Wendy Wonderwheels. This is wrong. Mark Rowbottom should not be finishing 7th, 70th. 7th would be more realistic for Mark. So he's clearly had some technical issues along the way, but made the sensible decision to finish off the race anyway, because you'll bag some points. Look at Hollingsworth and Danielle Gaunt. Oh, she's this is a feisty sprint, Danielle. She's probably not going to catch Hollingsworth, but that's absolutely impressive. Well done, Danielle. Gained a place there and points in the ladies' league. So well done, Danielle. Van der Loon now coming in 73rd. Collins at 74th. Looking down the list behind there, you've got some of the ladies in the ladies' league. At 76th, you've got Griselda Bulgarin, 77th, Jessica Wright, 78th, Lisa Snell. Martin Schluderek, 79th there for Moon Riders. Again, must have been a technical, because Marsan's a much bigger hitter than that. So I'll say a couple of Mark Rowbottom and Marcin Schluderek doing the sensible thing and picking up the points anyway, which we would advise in these competitions. Collins coming in 74th. As I say, there's probably only 6 riders behind him, I would guess. I think we're expecting about 80. I think there was 85 started. We've seen at least one stricken, and I'm sure there will be more. So with 500 metres to go and Collins rolling home, we have to assess what happened there. Looking back, I mean, that was incredible from Rasmus Velkool on the top there, just to go away and create a gap like that, you know, nudging 200 metres at one point, easing off a little bit, or maybe getting caught when the chasing riders decided it was about time to put the foot down. But nevertheless, to win by over 100 metres in one of these races is phenomenal, and a very, very worthy winner. And I think the real winners team-wise will be NZ Pro, because they had 2 guys in that group. Now let's just have a look. Bouncers Clay's consolidating his position as series leader with the 2nd place, and he'll be pleased with that. Nick Greenhouse, Ratio Racing, Pippin, one of the NZ Pro guys, Aaron Blakely, ahead of Kel Gunnar, another NZ Pro. So NZ Pro getting 4th and 5th. Huge points for them. John Samnett picking up for Poker Motion, who will lose a little bit of ground on Moon Riders for that differential, 2nd to 4th. Aston McAlpine, absolutely stunning ride. Well done, Alistair, to be 7th in that group. But look, we get to 8th and it's NZ Pro again. Now remember, in the team's competition, the top 2 riders score the points. So Thomas Williams won't have scored team points for NZ Pro, because the guys above will have picked those up. But he is going to be a bit of a hitter in the series. I think he's probably standing quite high in the series now as a result of that. Looking at that, 31st, Ned Bowen. That is way below what we'd expect from Ned. And with 3 named riders here not picking up the best results, i.e. Ned Bowen at 31st, Mark Rowbottom way back when, and of course we're just looking on the screen there, Lisa Snell coming in for West London at towards the back anyway. I think there's not many behind Lisa, if I'm honest. There's Marcin Schluderek, who we know about, and I think 2 other riders actually. So Lisa doing well. I know Lisa's race, she's getting faster and faster actually. I know Lisa quite well. She's taken a couple of years off cycling and just coming back, and certainly we've been out riding recently, and she seems to get faster every time she comes out. She's impressing us all. She's doing the Ride London Essex Big Sporty in a couple of weeks, so I'm sure she's working up towards that. Well done, Lisa. So where does that lead us? Well, the ladies' Sims classification after this, Wendy Wonderwheels has got ahead. The reason Ellen Lockett didn't ride, now remember, Ellen Lockett's on 1, and she's in 8th on 1 race. Caroline Reuter, who we think will be another challenge, is still on 1 race, and your best 6 count. Wendy Wonderwheels, Danielle Gaunt, Lisa Snell all clocked up 3. Way ahead with the points. This will even itself out. Judith Newton, who we think will be another contender on 2 races at 189. We'll have to see how this plays out. Griselda Bulgarin, the Spanish rider, well up there, 5th ahead of Jessica Wright, who's going to be very pleased with her position. Cara Bono from the USA in 7th place. As I say, Ellen and Caroline Reuter, they'll move up the rankings once they start clocking up some races. Liz Harding in her first race, 91 points, phenomenal. Well done, Liz. We'll have to see if you keep clocking up points like that, you might be in the mix. Laura Whittingham for Laura Whittingham in 11th, and Fiona Hamilton for Twickenham CC in 11th and 13th, just sandwiching Lisa West, who we also know is from Twickenham CC, and Lisa West holds it all together at that club. Now, general classification, as I said, I thought Thomas Williams was going to be up there in the mix. He is 2nd place. Wouter Clay's just ahead at 294 points. There's not a lot in it. And even though Thomas Williams is in 2nd place for NZ Bro, look, he's only 2 points ahead of Pokemotion's John Samet. This is quite tight. And Tom Gates, despite not being in that group, is still there in 4th within touching distance. So plenty to go. I mean, I just imagine probably pretty much anybody in the top 10. There's a tie at 9th between Peter Austin from Leatherhead and David Oliver. Yet another NZ Bro. Michael Tong at 7th. Look at that. NZ Bro with 3 in the top 10. Phenomenal stuff. Tomasz Poniatowski in 11th. Look out for Moon Riders races on Tuesday night. 13th, Julian Fussell. Look out for the Friday Frenzy races at Southborough District Wheelers. Bring you Fridays on RGT with Southborough District Wheelers. Tuesdays with Moon Riders and Thomas Poniatowski. The second Moon Riders rider after Wouter Plays. Remember, it's the top 2 riders in your team that score the points. So, well, that's looking very, very interesting. You can see here it's Rasmus Feldball. He's only on 199 points, but that's because he hasn't done 3 races. So don't read too much into that. And as I said, Mark Rowbottom in 17th must be absolutely distraught at losing so many points, because if you think about 70th place, he's probably lost about 50 points. It put him on 240. He would be way up 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that, had that not happened. So we'll have to find out what happened to Mark. Nick Greenhouse down in 19th, but only because he's done 2 races, not 3. Alison McAlpine similarly. Johan Olofsey, as we say. Aaron Blakely, who had a great race to finish in that top 2 again. These are guys who haven't played out all the races, so it does make a difference if you turn up every time if you want the GC. However, there are 2 other classifications that we don't rank right now, but will come into play later in the series, and that's the best of 6 and the best of 12. So a rider who misses 1 race through no fault of their own, or holiday or whatever, can still go for the Dirty Dozen competition, and those who do less, as long as you do 6, you'll be in that one. So those are the team's classifications after race 3. Smile on Ladies closing the gap on West London, who didn't put their best riders out in this one in the ladies competition at the bottom. Moon Riders and Pokemotion still only 25 point gap there. Draft in 3rd place still, ahead of the 2 NZ Pro teams. But as you can see, this goes right all the way down to 6th, the joint 6th, Ratio and Glasgow United, who is still realistically in contention. You can get a breakaway. If you get a couple of riders in a breakaway, as NZ Pro did today, then it can make a big difference. So that's how it stands. Plenty more to play for. These races are every fortnight, so the next one will be in 2 weeks' time, towards the end of May. And look up that, it's on the 25th of May, Wednesday 25th of May, 7:30 p.m. that's in the evening UK time, so work it out from there. If you're in Europe, you'll probably be an hour ahead of that, in Central Europe anyway. And well, this series has got way to go. 13 races in the series, that's 3, 10 to go. If you're not in it, join in now. Thanks for watching, we'll see you soon, bye. And thanks to the ZMS production team, I nearly forgot. See you next time, guys.